No, this was not planned. This was not Magic being, his most deceitful self saying, how can I just become that? Well, I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why I know for a fact it wasn't. But how can I be that, dastardly, devilish person and just take a match to they're going to introduce Frank Vogel today. Let me call up my buddy Stephen A. on going first take. And no. This was planned before the Lakers hired Frank Vogel. So, again, the timing, I use the word again, serendipitous, because Magic got to just take a torch to the franchise that embarrassed him, or at least people within the franchise that embarrassed him. And Rob Pelinka looks like an absolute clown today.
Yeah. What do you think happens long term? Do you think that Magic is because he's still involved with the Los Angeles Lakers? It's not like Magic Johnson, who surprisingly quit his job as VP of basketball operations, is just going to disappear from Lakerdom. He's still going to be around. He still has a friendship with Jeannie. They posted it very publicly on social media about a week and a half ago, going to lunch. So the relationship is still intact with the ownership. But for him to come out and say what he said about Rob Pelinka, basically call him a backstabber for there's much more to that, and we'll get to it, but basically call him a backstabber. There's only one reason that he would do that, because he's trying to undermine him, right? You don't say that just to get the record straight. You say that because you don't feel good about Rob Pelinka sitting in this role. And
to be clear, Stephen A. was the one who actually used the word backstabber. Magic certainly didn't refute that at all. He basically continued Stephen's sentence and made it seem as if he co-signed it.
We thought it was that anyway.
Oh, there's no question.
You know what I mean?
Oh, no, there's no doubt. Right? It's not like Magic was defending Rob. He was absolutely saying, Stephen, you know the deal, and here's what it is.
Going back to the emails that Magic was supposedly blind CC'd on with.
That he did clarify.
Yeah.
That surprised me, because he said he never saw them today.
Yeah.
Like on the show today, he said he never saw the emails.
I thought, you think that's true?
I'm going to believe him, because, I mean, what? I don't know that Magic is. I'm not saying everything he says is, completely upright. It's going to benefit Magic Johnson at the end of the day, and it should, because he's Magic Johnson.
Of course.
But the way the story was reported initially, I was a little surprised when I was watching that live when Magic said he had not actually seen.
Yeah. Because the way
emails.
that it was reported, that what BT's talking about, is that Magic saw these emails, got pissed off, and called a press conference and said, I'm
hastily.
I'm quitting.
Which is why we thought, not that we actually like this, but because of the hasty nature of the press conference, as Tiki said, and I didn't understand why there was no time to alert Jeannie. It didn't make any sense unless you are sitting at your laptop,
exactly,
or your phone,
or LeBron,
and
or
you
whoever.
see the emails, and you're like, screw them. Oh wait, Magic. Oh, I don't work hard. I'm not engaged. You know what? That's it. Let's go. Ding, ding. I text 3 people. Get your microphones. Get your cameras. It's time for a Magic Johnson press conference. What a crazy day. What would I do if I'm the Lakers?
Yes,
I'll tell you what I would do right now. I would fire Rob Pelinka today.
Wow.
Now, what I would have done is fire Rob Pelinka earlier.
After Magic quit and then explained himself. Because he talked about this with Jeannie Buss when he went to lunch or whatever, dinner, whatever it is that picture was.
I think it was dinner.
It was out there.
He can't be there. He is not. To win in the NBA, you've got to have relationships. And relationships are built on trust.
Yeah.
And right now, the person who is probably least trustworthy in the NBA with any sort of hammer or juice card is Rob Pelinka.
Yeah.
So if you're a free agent, you trusted him? Nope. And you have to save what remains of LeBron's Lakers career. I would fire Rob Pelinka.
That's interesting.
I would fire him.
Because then they really start over, because they didn't hire someone to fill Magic's job. It feels so late. I mean, the draft is
The draft is late June.
A month away. I mean, I think exactly. Yes,
June 20-something.
A month away from today. The NBA draft is. You can't fire a GM without having a VP of basketball operations as well. I mean, it's almost like they're stuck.
You know why you
with
can?
Rob Pelinka right now. But
I don't think so.
Who fills that role?
But I'll tell you why. This isn't the NFL draft, Teak, where you've got to have a big board where there's 600 players on it. Or what, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
You know where you're picking.
Yeah.
You're picking right after the Knicks at 4. You can trade that, or you could. You're not getting Zion because he's going 1. John Morant's going 2. You're not getting him to the Pelicans. You would imagine Barrett's going 3 to the Knicks. Who else do you like?
Yeah.
Find one of 5 or 6 guys, or trade the pick. It's not even about like the conventional flow of and transfer of information and acting on draft day. It is about ending the perception that the Lakers are. It's even worse than being clueless. It's darkness. And for a while, the Knicks had to get out of this cave. And when you're deep in that cave, people don't like you and people don't trust you. People don't go and play for you.
Yeah, I agree with you, BT.
That's a problem.
It's hard to see Rob Pelinka there for the long term, even if he is, as he presents himself, making it seem like he's going to be there for the long time. Because he also spoke after.
I did most of the speaking.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, good job by the LA media, by the way.
I agreed.
Which was also the national media, but they hit him with some good ones.
Yeah, you're right. And look, Rob, who knows? Do we think he's in over his head? Probably. I mean, he's an agent. He wasn't a GM. It's a different way of going about things. But there's also another level to this, BT, that we can dig it further into. I'm not sure that this narrative that we keep throwing out there about LeBron James, you got to salvage these last couple of years of LeBron James. But why? Right? Is that going to make you feel better if you're a Lakers fan? Because they're not going to win a championship next year, right?
Yeah, but you can't operate under that mindset. We're not going to win.
That.
Okay.
They've already said that they're not going to trade LeBron. But I look at the Lakers, and if I'm all of this stuff that we've been talking about, this has been going on for about 2 months now, maybe even longer.
No, more than that.
Longer.
On this show, more than that.
I'm talking about the screwed upness of the front office. Forget the on-court stuff that we talked about all season long, but I'm just talking about the dysfunction of this front office. It's been going on for a long time. Magic quits. You pretend, and you're probably right, that Rob Pelinka is going to be short for his position as a general manager.
That's just what I would do. I'm not saying that they're about to do that. I would do that.
I would.
I really would.
You start fresh. Don't you feel like you also have to start fresh with this roster and this experiment, whatever experiment it was with LeBron James, just isn't right? Because to me, it doesn't feel right.
Yes.
Right. If I'm the Lakers and I want to freshen whatever, get rid of everything.
Yes.
You got to start different than LeBron.
I got a plan
because that career intersection just it doesn't match at all.
No, it's two different avenues.
Where the Lakers are.
You know what? I know that they're going to try to keep going back to the Anthony Davis well, and they're going to try to engage the Pelicans. And we know what the ownership for the Pelicans said. What's her? Why am I forgetting her first name? She said last week, reportedly,
Gail
Benson. Thanks, Steve. Not over my dead body. I would not do that. Maybe cooler heads prevail. I think they have a good coach. I think they have a very good GM. Maybe that actually happens. But you know what they really should do? If you really want to maximize LeBron, and that has to still, although I would listen to me, I would fire Rob Pelinka, I would trade LeBron James. Why don't you just disband the entire franchise? I'm into radical solutions today.
If you're able to move LeBron, though, you can get someone who's really young 100%. And exciting, and man, we can build around this.
Which is why you do it. They won't, but that's why they should, or at least kick the tires on that. But the name. The player for them is not Anthony Davis. The player for them is Bradley Beal. What they need to do is get with the Wizards and say, listen, you're paying John Wall $40 million, and the contract hasn't started yet. And he just ruptured his Achilles, and his game is based on speed. So do you want to keep Bradley Beal, who's making decent money, or do you want to completely start over, give yourself some sort of out? Not that there's a full out, because that contract is punitive when you're even if he was healthy, $40 million for John Wall is probably not the way to go.
I think you're right.
So you go for Bradley Beal, who was a great shooter and who plays well off the ball, and LeBron. Let LeBron just pound it. Oh, double team. Boom. There's Bradley Beal, 23-footer. Good. So that's the plan. That's what they should do.
Yeah, but how do you get excited about that if you're a Laker?
I'll tell you what. I think but I can't. A Laker fan?
Yes.
No, because Laker fans are living in fantasy land. They're in la-la. Not the good ones, but most Laker fans, at least the semi-superficial ones, are the ones who, expect Kareem and Magic and all these, and Kobe to walk back. There are other names in the NBA and other ways to win. And I think you have to look at LeBron's history, and, they did the complete antithesis. Look at how LeBron won. Every time that he won, look at how he won. He had the basketball. He has guys who could shoot.
Yeah.
And now he doesn't have the basketball, and he doesn't have guys who can shoot. It's the complete opposite.
I agree.
So just subscribe to that. Instead of Mo Williams, you get somebody like Mo Williams.
Yeah, but I just feel like
and all the replication of all the other names. You know the names.
Yeah, there's a lot that needs to be done.
They're a disaster.
With the Lake. And you know what's frustrating is, as a Lakers fan, and I'm not, but I'm trying to put myself in a Lakers fan's mentality right now. No matter what you do, it's not going to work. right? Right?
Why though? Why do you say that? If you get Bradley,
it's not going to work. It's not. You're not going to either win a championship, because there's only a couple of outcomes, right? You're either going to win a championship or you're going to start building something that feels phenomenal, right? So they're not winning a championship.
No.
Right?
No.
And if you keep LeBron and do what you're subscribing, which I think is interesting, and it could win them some games. But again, they're not winning a championship, but it also sets them back at least 2 years before they can actually start feeling good about their future.
But that's why you can, it's a fair retort. I mean, what you say is illogical. For LeBron and the finite window that he has that remains, it's either a championship or it should be a complete reboot. Because in the middle is not the reward that you were chasing. I get it.
They are stuck squarely in the middle.
I get it. But I do believe that there's a way to maybe placate both ends.